Alright, so today I'm going to be doing the front rotors and brake discs on this Subaru 2013 WRX. If you don't have a Subaru, don't worry. Brake systems are very similar across brands, so you should be able to get this done in your car very easily. Alright, so for the job today we're going to need a jack stands, obviously your rotors, brake pads, breaker bar, mallet, and socket set. First thing you need to do, obviously jack up the car. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is jack up the car just to relieve the weight off the tire. Don't jack it up all the way because you're going to need to crack these loose before you fully raise up the car, or else the tire's just going to want to spin unless you have an impact gun. But in this case we're using a breaker bar, so you're going to want to just jack it up a little bit and then crack them all loose. Alright, so now what you're going to want to do is get in the car, turn it on, and turn your wheel all the way to the right to make it get easier access to the brake calipers so you can get in there and do the work you got to do. What you're going to want to do is grab a breaker bar. In this case, it's going to be a 14mm socket. You're going to need to get in here on these two bolts on the caliper. Remove the bottom one first. And then you're going to be able to lift up the caliper and remove the old pads. I'm going to be replacing the rotors. So you can get in there with a flathead to pop them out. If you're not replacing the rotors, be careful not to damage the rotor while you're doing this, because you really don't want to mess up the rotors. Now what you're going to want to do is remove the top one. Now you're not going to want to leave your caliper just hanging because you can damage the brake line right here. So you could use bungee cord. I couldn't find any bungee cord, so I'm just going to use a piece of string. Alright, so next we're going to have to remove these two bolts right here. These are 17mm. So grab your breaker bar. And really? So, if you can see with my half-inch drive, it doesn't fit because of this guy right here. So, I'm going to have to use my 3/8 with an extension, and then it'll be able to get on there, which, really, and I do not have a breaker bar that size, so I'm going to bring out trusty old pipe to crack that baby loose. And there we go. Now bring out the mallet. That is on there. Alright. Bust out the dead blow. Man, that was on there. Alright, so, you know, it doesn't want to come off. pull out the sledgehammer. Unless you're reusing. Alright, so you can get in there. You can just clean off as much of the rust as you can. Alright, so now you're going to want to grab your rotor. Just put it in there. Screw on one of the lug nuts to be able to hold the rotor in place. Alright, putting this back on. Now whenever you change your brake pads, remember always to change the brake hardware, because they do wear out. There's going to be two different kinds. Now, the easiest thing is just to, when you pull off the old one, screwdriver usually helps. Pull it off. See, this one has these little tabs on the side. Just match it up with the new one. Go in there and just new one right in. Do the same thing for the top. Just go in there. Get in the corner. Turn. Should come right out. See? Matches up. Exactly the same. In there. And there we go. Easy as that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is apply the brake lubricant to the brake pads to prevent squeaking and premature wear. Make sure you do not get any of it on the actual braking surface, which is this side. Put a little bit, rub it all on the back and on the ends, and that's it. And you're done. So don't forget to put a little bit of lubricant just a little bit, so it just moves nice and smooth. So the easiest way to know which pad goes on which side is to grab the old one, which is those circles. That's from the actual caliper pushing in on it, which pushes in from this side, and they were in this way. So you just grab the new one. See, the hardware matches up the same. Grab it, and then you just slide it in. Now, you are going to have to compress the piston back in the caliper, because while the pads wore out and got thinner, these right here got closer and closer. Now it won't go over it. So first what you got to do is, I recommend you pop the hood and crack the brake fluid reservoir to let the brake fluid pass back easier. There's a specific tool, but I'm just going to use like a C-clamp to do this. It's very easy. So what you're going to do is grab your caliper. Screw the top one back in. Get your old pad, flip this up, put it in there with the brake surface facing in. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go in with the C-clamp, now all you gotta do is turn the wheel back, put the tire on, and you're done. You just gotta do the other side. Alright, now all you gotta do is the other side.